back. Today we've got the game Banished. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this one. My sound last time, Indiana Jones was a very loud game. I realized that after I posted the video. Like I said, I'm still kind of trying to get all the kinks worked out there with the sound. It seems to be the hardest challenge. I guess that makes sense when you're making ASMR videos and you don't have any video of yourself. But anyway, so this is Banished. The general idea, I haven't played this in a long time. The general idea is you've got a group of settlers who are now in the middle of nowhere and your job is to stay alive. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit of a time killer. So we're going to start our settings here. I don't know that I've ever done the mountains. Mountains are kind of a pain. You people can't really move around much. We're going to go with valleys. I also don't know what maps it is. It's just a random number depending on what map you're going to get. They always kind of seem to be pretty similar. We'll go large, fair climate. The winter, honestly, the winter is like really the only antagonist in this game. Like, you just have to have everything ready to go for the winter. At least in my experience, I've never had a disaster. I don't know. I don't even know what they consist of. We're gonna go easy, just for demonstration purposes, as I do. This basically affects the amount of things that you start with, crops and things like that. So let's get going. These loading screens always have like really bad, really cool towns, and mine always suck. But maybe someday I'll get to that point. We'll see. Okay, so here's our people. We've started off with some cattle. So let's see. We're gonna start building right away here. We have enough houses to keep all our current people going. It always takes me a little while to remember what I'm working with here. Okay, we're gonna start our field, our crop field first. It is raining very hard. We're gonna start with the we're gonna start our crop field first so that we can get things moving. Oh, this is it. Good work. Oh, I don't like that one. Okay. I've got the dual screen. It's going easier. So we're gonna build our first field. The spacing is kind of key here because you don't want your people having to walk very far. We're gonna have to build a bridge here at some point. This is a lot of good flat land. And this is probably an area that's better off for houses, but you know what? I'm just gonna go right away. With a nice, I want to go as big as possible, 15 by 15 field. So right now nobody has any jobs, but we're going to assign 4 builders who will get to work on that crop field. They're going to have to remove these materials here. I don't know what we have. I don't know how many seeds or how many different options for plants, crops we have right now. That's going to take a lot of time to get rid of all those trees and rocks. But we got plenty of builders standing by to take care of that problem. Orchards, easier, a little bit of a lesser priority for me because they take a whole year to show anything. I want a big pasture. Let's go over here. This is going to take a lot of wood. God, that is annoying. I'm off to a bad start here because I'm building everything in spots that require a ton of, what's the word, like labor to get rid of and to clear areas. It'll give me a lot of crops, which is, it'll give me a lot of building materials right off the bat. All these things we have to remove. Okay, so we're ready to go here. We're gonna go with some squash. I like squash as an option. So let's immediately try throw some farmers in there. I don't know that we need a full 4. We'll get them to work. This one's going to take forever. We haven't really got to work on it yet. The other thing we're going to need, because in the in the winter, we're not going to have any of our crop fields, right? So we're going to need a fishing pier, I guess you could call it, as well as a hunter's lodge, because those are 2 sources of food. 2 sources of food that are sustainable throughout the winter when our crops and our fields are shut down. So we're gonna build that, but I think we're gonna wait until we're finished clearing this orchard so we have some more workers available to us. This game is fun. Sorry, I was distracted. Yeah, I'll get into it in like waves, I won't play it for a really long time, and then I'll play it just because I see it on there, and I'm like, this is really a great game. I wish these people would hurry up clearing this field. I really need to. I don't know if I want to build a fishing pier. Yeah, I guess that's a good spot. I'm going to go ahead and get it going right here, right now. I never remember how to rotate objects in this game. So let's see if I can press. There we go. T. Okay. Perfect. That way we don't have to get rid of anything to build that one. Just looking towards the future, we also want to get a gatherer's hut built at some point. We'll be picking mushrooms and other plant-based foods. And our hunting cabin, like I mentioned. And at that point, we're pretty good food-wise. Forester's Lodge. Oh man, I need a woodcutter. I forgot about that. We're gonna run low pretty fast. I like to put it near our main farm, but that's kind of far away. I don't like this spot because we're gonna need to bring logs to it. Not logs, it's timber to it to turn it into logs. That's a long walking distance. To bring the timber, and it's gonna take a long time to get that system set up, but the alternative is to carry logs an extremely long distance from our homes and like that either. Just a poor start. I should have put planning into this down, but we didn't. So what are you gonna do? We get some nice rain sounds in the background. To put you to sleep. It's too bad when it snows in the winter in this game. You don't get any like nice relaxing blizzard sounds. I'm a big blizzard sound guy, kind of that like buzzing of the wind, But not gonna happen here. Are we starting to see our first? We are. Look at the little small squash plants starting to pop up here. Okay. My people are moving extremely slow, clearing this crop field. And again, it's really not a priority. So you know what? I'm gonna move one of our builders off of there. Just because we have more important things to do. Slowly move all those materials. Just as a point of reference here. These are stone. And these are iron. They're a little less rounded and they're darker. So our materials are wood, stone, and iron for building. up here we have a amount of clothing, so that'll disappear over time, and we will eventually have to build a tailor's shop. We use a couple different materials, but leather is the base one for clothing, so we are hunters for that. These are our tools. We started off with a ton because the plate was not easy. That's 38. We'll need to build a blacksmith eventually. Once we get low on that, you can really screw yourself if you don't build it early enough because you really can't do anything without tools. You can't build the blacksmith without tools. So, and there's our store of food, and then just some other store textiles. That would be the materials used for clothing. Medicine, I don't mess around with early on. Build an herbalist eventually. Coal, again, is like an upgraded material, but it's not needed at any point. It's just a bonus as far as I know. Alcohol can make people happier. I really don't mess with that for a long time. A number of adults, students, which we run schools, none, and children. And there's your season, your year number. The first time that I really got into this game, I had like a village that I felt like was really making good progress. I had a pretty good number of citizens. What I did not do is I didn't build enough houses, so people will crowd into houses. You won't get anybody homeless. The problem is they will not reproduce if they don't have their own home. So if you have, a mother and a father, which is just implied, but a mother and a father, and then multiple families living underneath them, these adults down here will not have more kids. So what will happen is you'll basically run out of reproducing people, and then you won't be able to continue. I'm gonna add another farmer. I'm gonna start another apple orchard there. Really slow progress on the pasture. I mean, geez, they haven't even moved any of the trees yet. How are we doing this? I don't know. Okay, we're just getting there. That's the wood cutter. And then the dog. Very slow. I feel like I have a lazy group here. Just making really very little progress. Cattle are just waiting for something to do there. Once a year, you do get a trader. I think this may be the main. Yeah, I think we're right on the main river here. So you will float down the main river. It has to connect from one end to the other. So I think that's it. I don't know which direction, but they'll come in, and if you have a trading post set up, you can start to acquire different seeds, animals, and things like that. But you really kind of have to have a good amount going to get anything tradable, We can't speed up time. It's kind of early to do that, but I'm tempted to. To help out my slow. Okay, Chloris is hungry. To help out my slow workers here. We're doing really good resource-wise. Just a speed issue. We're into late spring here, so I think we should have a pretty good harvest. harvest squash. Obviously not gonna have anything from our apple trees. Okay, this button right here, I really wish this was like a double click, because I cannot tell you how many times I have taken a year and a half or 2 years. Finally got a full grown orchard. Okay, because obviously once the trees are full grown, they stay that way. It's just the crop will come and go. And I've accidentally hit the cut button, which cannot be reset. And they come in and they cut down your whole entire orchard and set you back 2 years. It is wildly upsetting as you watch them just tear it all down. I don't think there's any way to fix it if you accidentally hit it, but maybe there's. Let me know if there is. There's our fishing dock. It's got all the resources ready to go. It just needs to be built now. Looks like a stone wall is headed over there to start. I can break out the saw here in a minute. Oh, got a little hammer. Okay, that didn't quite work. Oh, there we go. Saw it on the stone. I don't know. Oh, there. Okay, so I don't know who's assigned to work on this crop field, but they are a bit of a slacker. But I spoke to Jaylene is doing a good job. There's some weird names. Like, what are all like the Toms and the Susans and stuff? What was the guy's name? Stonewall or something? Darrelly. Cleveland. What? Billa. I think we got kicked out of England for having really weird names. Now we've been forced to live here in a new country. There we go, the woodcutter. Woodcutter's almost ready to go. They haven't started building yet, but I like that was part of it. Okay, we're getting here. We're gonna wanna I may not assign any fishermen right away, because I'd rather keep them as builders and get the things that we need built, and then once the stuff is built, we can throw some fishermen aside there. We'll see. Still working away. Oh my goodness. Wait, what? Oh, 20. That doesn't mean cut down. That means like this. We're actually probably really doing a number on our tools. By forcing this much cutting down, just really what we are going to have a lot of wood. Although this takes a lot, because it's so big, it needs a fence all over it. She looks tired. It's really impressive what they're able to do on their own. This stone just perfectly cut squares, blocks, small squares. Oh, wow, that is a strong man. 14 years old. Strong as it was. Okay, what's going on over here? Oh, we're having children. So we started off with 8 children. Remember, we've already got 13, so I guess maybe that's why we're getting so little work done. Okay, let's get a woodcutter on here, because I don't want to be left hanging in the winter with no wood. I also like to increase the wood, because 200 is not a lot. This is what we're going to do here. I think we're gonna build. This could be bad strategy. I think we're build it here, this is the range, right? So they're not going to be hunting a whole lot, like where there's cabins and stuff. Yeah, they're going to build it there. That's far away, but it is what it is. We've got our first trees starting to show up here in the orchard. What can happen is if you do not harvest, right? So if you start your crop field too early or too late, they won't start harvesting. I don't believe they'll start harvesting until the field is fully ready to go, right? So if you start it too late, they will be waiting to harvest it, and then it can freeze, and you'll start to lose your crops. You'll see them just like disappear. So if you start it early enough, it's not really an issue because they'll start harvesting before that period. But if you start it too late, they will try to keep growing everything. And then the frost and the cold temperatures can really end up screwing you. Woodcutters getting to work on here. I got another sled. Nice. What was the last thing I wanted? Let's see. Oh, the gathering. But you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to build a bridge. I think it's important to get over here. Why is that? I wonder if that'll... Oh, this is too big of a... No. Okay. Hopefully that won't affect like a trader coming through here. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and build a bridge there. We're going to need to take advantage of all this land. So, while we're building the heck out of things, I generally like to make, as a rule, I like to make Malaga full. I think they'll just start piling it up. Elsewhere, we have so many potatoes. I do like to kind of keep the winter as like our building project time because you're going to have all the people that work at the farms will be unemployed over the winter. So it's kind of a good time to have extra people ready to build. Let's see where we're at. We may need some more houses if we have of age people, but we don't have any actually, which is kind of surprising. So no houses will need to be built this year. I don't know if years like go with that, you know what I mean? I don't know if people age faster than what an actual year is. They may. I think they do. Like maybe 2 seasons is a year or something in age time. But I could be wrong. What are we doing down here in the cabin? I think we're just getting started. Yeah. Cutting down a couple trees. Got our workers down here ready to go. I like it. I would think we would have the hunter's cabin ready to go for the winter. Although it's a lot of resources that are need to be carried a long way. Okay, we're getting low on food. We need a fisherman. At least one fisherman to get going. And I may at some point shut down work on the orchard because it's not going to give us anything this year. The priority is going to be this year and here pretty soon. Really slow work on the pasture. They haven't even started bringing resources here. I'm telling you guys, I think I got a bad group. I think I got a bad squad this year. I don't know if that's a thing, but they seem to be pretty lazy. Looks like the bridge is getting a little bit of a priority. I think they just choose the jobs that are really close to town because they're lazy. Forester's Lodge, so they're just in charge of creating wood. Planting new trees, cutting down trees. I haven't built it yet because we've cut down so many in the process of clearing land. I don't think it's going to be a huge early necessity. But it can start to screw you if you're running low on firewood, and you don't have any timber to create firewood from. So right now this crop field is at a 58% yield. It's got a long way to go. We're still in mid-summer. Relaxing rain sounds. Do we want some relaxing cattle mooing sounds? Very quiet. They just want their pasture ready to go. They're not getting it. There's some fish. Slowly, oh jeez. Thought they would have that ready to go for the winter. Trees do fall down on the road. I don't know if they just become piles of logs. No, I guess they just disappear. So it's, I guess, important to cut down trees before you lose them. They also will just, they'll grow. But if you have like a real system in place for cutting down trees, they will not grow fast enough to keep it sustainable. You'll have to move Forester's Lodge. There we go. Okay, we're finally starting some work on the pasture. This is an enormous pasture. I don't know how many cattle. So, I don't know how many cattle we have in the house. I don't know if it tells us. No, it doesn't tell us. But it'll be under what this holds, right? So say we have 15 cattle, and the limit on this thing is 40. I don't know. They'll just hang out here. And I guess we'll get some milk. Will be the only early resource we get. But then, once it hits the size limit of this pasture, so if it is 40, once we get to 40 cattle, any more will start slaughtering. So once you get to the max size, then you're kind of in luck because you'll get a system going where you're slaughtering an older cattle every time. Is cattle a singular? I think it's multi-plural. You'll be slaughtering a cow every time a new one is born. So you'll get a lot of meat from that. You'll get a lot of hides and things like that. So it'll be good. But we'll see what the limit is on this and how many we actually have. I'm sure. Okay, we're looking good on the bridge now too. All these projects just need to be built. For most of them have the resources stacked up and ready to go. Except for this one, it's abandoned apparently. Okay, we may wanna. Yeah, I mean, pretty soon we're gonna want to start harvesting this because we're getting into late summer. We're almost out of food, so I am going to harvest. I'm going to start harvesting. And I think I might actually stop working this as well. So that we have all hands on deck here. this squash back in storage since we are totally out of food, which is pretty pathetic, admittedly, for the first summer. Like I said, I didn't play this very well. Gatherer's hut built. Every time you build a project or finish a project, it gives you more builders to work on the ones that are taking forever. Such as pasture, especially stupid haunting cat, which they finally moved the last of the logs with everything become bringing down building materials. Good job, Melinda. You keep up the good work. We do have an extra worker now. He's become an adult. Yeah, well, that's definitely not one-to-one. At the time there. The aging time. So we got some food. We've come back from the brink. The food. We're eating it just as fast. Gonna be a lot of squash on the dinner table this winter. Winter squash. Good firewood. Feeling pretty good there. General resources are not too bad. We've got enough clothing and tools, I think, to pretty easily get us through the winter. Look how fast our food is going. We've got a lot of growing children in our village, I guess. Look at that kid carrying that squash. It's like twice the size of one. Are we building anything right now? What is... Oh, okay. We're ready to go. 20 is the limit. Okay, I thought it would be more than that. Not gonna lie. We'll assign one herdsman. To be honest, I'm not sure what the point of 2 herdsmen is, because herdsmen don't really seem to do anything. My guess would be they probably take better care of them so the cattle reproduce faster, but I'm just pulling out of my butt. But we're gonna do 1 for now because we got stuff we want to finish building. The herdsman, as you can see, is gonna start bringing this meandering group of cattle over to our pasture. The bridge is also built, which is nice. So let's go ahead and build our... Where is it? Build our gatherer's hut. I'm sick and tired of removing materials, so I'm gonna put it like that there, but that's a lot of wasted space. That's water. Right there. Okay, that's pretty far away from the town center or whatever. They can learn to walk. We're pretty screwed. I mean, they're collecting stuff so slow. Yeah, food could get, our health has already even dropped to half heart, which isn't good. I need to get this hunter's cabin up and going. Okay, the cattle are in their new home. We're already low on food. fish is like a really good source of food, and I think it's actually probably a huge reason why we're struggling here. Usually I build a fishing dock right away, and it gives you a real nice inflow of food. But I did not do that this time. I built the orchard early, which was just a bad move. I think maybe I'll make it through winter and then save the game and call it quits. At that point, you've kind of seen, well, it's not true. There's a lot more you can begin to do as you really settle in. Oh, I didn't see this house. They have somebody getting a little bit older. But still no couples old enough for their own homes here. I don't know what the age is, probably like 14 or something. This is back in the day. Just bringing squash down here. Man, I don't think we're building this hunting cabin with squash. Okay, I think that was a glitch. Because it showed up as wood. We haven't been able to sustain an increase in food here. We're kind of struggling with that. Hovered around 200. I think the other thing, so priorities for the winter, right? We're working on our hunting cabin. We're slowly working on our gatherer's hunt. I would say our priorities for the winter would be a Forester's Lodge, which I think we're going to build over here, and then another crop field. We could also do another orchard because we also have plums available to us that we have not planted. But to me, the crop field is the immediate. You see the immediate benefits from that. Maybe not immediate, but you see benefits from that much quicker. So that would probably be our 2 moves. At some point, we're going to have to think about the tailor, but not yet. Looks like we're going to be pretty good firewood-wise for the winter. It's only now 39 degrees. No new cattle. I like the music in this game. It's very soothing. It never changes. Even when your whole village is just being wiped out. Okay, so he's hit the limit, right? So this means, okay, we've told them that the field limit is 300, which actually moved up from 200. And we've around 323 now, so he's going to stop working. Which I'm actually okay with that, because we're going to throw him in. We're going to throw him in as a fisherman. Of course. Okay, so our woodcutter is very versatile. He's going to start fishing. Trying to bring that food number up, which actually has really started to rise now, which is good. I think maybe what happened was we were low on food in our homes, right? So once we started getting some in here from our crops, they just quickly pulled it all out, put it into their houses. But now that their houses have good food, we're able to sort of get a surplus going in the barn, which is nice. It seems like this is taking forever to harvest. Okay, we finally get the foundation. I said we'd have it done by the winter. I think we will. Although he's going to get tired really fast and he's going to have to walk like 10 miles back home. Someone's going to have to come replace him, so we'll see. Gatherer's Hut's coming along a little bit slower. But, Cloris, we've met her before. Cloris is taking that project on like a champ. The one thing about turning work off at the woodcutter station, now we got some snow, is that we can't forget, right? Like this will start to drop, and I can't forget to turn it back on if we need it, which we certainly will now that it's cold and snowing. Let's watch the squash. We may start to lose some here because of the cold. Because of our slow acting workers. What's that? Getting something to eat. So almost all of our food is squash. We have a little bit of fish in there, and that should be much higher. And then once we get our hunting cabin ready to go, I'd like to get over 1,000 food just to like make me feel better. It'll fall fast. Okay, we're a third of the way there. The cabin. This is like the slowest construction project in the history of young America. But I have a feeling this one may surpass. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Where should we build our next field? I guess right here. That's again going to be a lot of stuff to clear. It's really probably makes the most sense unless we. Yeah, that actually might be a good spot. I'm not going to do much else with it. Keep this close area for like tailors, blacksmiths, and schools when they eventually come along. Waiting on that first calf. There we go, we're getting there. Go, Lavares, go. Here comes Hope. What's his name? Any guesses? Look at all these. That is a huge mushroom. Look at all these things to be gathered. They won't be. That was just not where we built our hut. A sheet. Oh, here comes more help. Oh, Ron, 2 years old. Wow, that is quite a large 2-year-old. Okay, let's immediately drop some of these builders and make them hunters. Okay. So we're finally ready to go into hunting camp. That's good. Okay, and then we can shut off work at the farm because it's not needed. Let's get 2 more fishermen ready to go. And I like it. So we're at 1,300 food. We're in a pretty good spot. We're still increasing firewood. I don't really know how that's possible. Maybe we had some sitting here. Gatherer's hut is making progress. What's the other thing? Oh, I want to build the next crop field. I think I am going to do it here. Crop field's 200. Fascinating. 15 by 15. Get to work on that. I think we'll do one project at a time here. Actually, we're not doing one project at a time because we still have this stupid gatherer's hut. It is early winter now. 22 degrees. But we're in a good position. I think we'll last another half of our health though. One thing that can affect that is variety in food. So that may be the issue right now. We're just eating squash for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you'd like a snack, there's some squash there. But once we get some apples going, I guess we have a little bit of fish. But once we get some meats, look at you guys and the hunting cabin. Once we get some mushrooms and onions, whatever other goods grow on the ground, nature, and then our fish numbers should be increasing pretty fast here because we've got 4 fishermen hunting now. Okay, they're making good work of this crop field over here. I can't remember what the other... Oh, pumpkins. Yeah, so this will be a pumpkin field. So we'll have some nice decorations for Halloween next year. Look at these 2 gals getting after it. I like it. We're actually running a little low on wood. We have built a lot of things here lately. The crop field won't require any, so that's good. Hey, little kid, why don't you stop standing around and get to work? Okay, you're 6 years old. Time to become a man. I'd like to see some deer, whatever else we're hunting. I'd like to see some of that show up here. They're eating the heck out of our fish. I don't know why that woman had fish down here. Like, she stole some and then thought better of yours. They do get cold in the winter as well. So we'll have to take more breaks. Which is not something that you can change. You can't tell them to toughen up and run the risk of them dying or getting frostbite. Speaking of frostbite, I was thinking one of my next games would probably be Frostpunk, which is somewhat enjoyable, but for a terrible gamer such as myself is incredibly challenging, and I usually end up getting really pissed off. But I feel like that would be a good one to do, so that's probably on that near menu. The other one I was thinking was Sheltered. It's another game that I haven't played in a long time, but I do enjoy it when I do. I mentioned Monkey Island, although a game with that much dialogue, similar to Indiana Jones, scares me a little bit now, since that last one didn't come out very good. We'll see. And then I still have all my text-based sports games, but I'm not interested in those. One strategy is if you think you're above freezing, it can say late winter. warm, everything can turn green. You can jump on these and start working them pretty early, you know. If you think you're going to be warm from then on, but you can end up, I think, kind of screwing yourself if you get on it too early. So. I'm gonna speed this up, which I think I almost always play on 2 times speed. I said I'd play until the spring, so. I feel like a lot of these projects, like they start off with a bang, like, yeah guys, good job, you're doing great, and then they just sort of like give up on it. Yeah, you really don't get any logs from trees that fall down on the ground. I thought I did. That's news to me. Still got new cattle. Need that extra herdsman, I think. Venison, okay, so we finally our hunters are getting some work done. So they get pretty big chunks when they do. I mean, you got 127 and you only got 16 fish. We got 4 fishermen going at it 24/7 over there. Got a little bit of leather now, which is good. Can make some more coats when we need to. Still want to build that forester lodge. Okay, there we go. So we have. We're gonna throw a couple gatherers in there. Where are we at? Do we need another house yet? Okay. We've got an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old. But they're actually both girls anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. We're getting close on the crop field. Now you can get another patch. Come on, man. Terribly. That's a small 23. Bill is playing. Looks like a fun game. What are you doing with this fish over here? Don't move. Okay, you could have dropped the fish off first here. Okay, so this field's ready to go. We're gonna leave that shut down, obviously. We're gonna go ahead and build the forester lodge. And I'm gonna do that over here. That'll actually start green trees. That area too. Okay, we're into late winters. Hopefully we get that thing built before we need all. We're gonna need a lot of farmers this year because we have 3 fields, 2 fields and an orchard. So hopefully they can get that forester's lodge built soon. We're not gonna be getting anything built in the summer due to all the farming that needs to get done. so it's 31 degrees, but the snow is melting. I think I may get a worker going. Oops. I'm gonna get a worker going. On our orchard. That'd be pretty cool if we could actually have something. I don't think so. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that'd be cool if we could get some apples before next winter. Oh, was that a winter? Yeah, I think so. Okay, I think we're good. It's early spring, so I think we're gonna open up all our crop fields. Oh, we don't have pumpkins. We did really good with firewood that winter. Didn't cut it the whole winter. Okay, so we're gonna take one fisherman away. I think we're gonna take a hunter away. We're gonna add those to farmers. Maybe a gatherer away. And you don't want to build her away because we really don't need that foresting lodge. Let's set 2 there. Let's set 2 there. And 1 there. Is that all of them? Yeah, 5. Okay. We get a lot of medicine. And we get some roots and onions. So our gatherers are starting to do their job. Oh, and I finished the winter. So that's just a sneak peek here at this game called Banished. I don't know that it's really updated much anymore. It came out a while ago. Check it out. It's a fun little time killer. Pretty easy to learn. Replayability is okay. But yeah, check it out. And we'll be back soon. Thanks.